Mighty Mac. It was summertime on the island of Sodor. Lots of vacationers were coming to the island. They liked to see the beautiful forests and the high mountains. It was a busy time for all the engines. A new engine had arrived on the island. He was going to help take the vacationers up into the mountains. Thomas had arrived at the transfer yards. He was very excited to meet the new engine. "Hello," puffed Thomas.
Hello.
The new engine puffed back.
I'm Mighty. And I'm Mac. Together we are Mighty Mac.
They whistled happily. Thomas had never seen such an unusual engine before. Then the narrow gauge controller, Mr. Percival, arrived.
Mighty Mac, you are to take some holidaymakers to the mountain campsite,
said Mr. Percival. Mighty Mac could see the vacationers. They were waiting on the platform. But there were lots of tracks between Mighty Mac and the vacationers. Mighty Mac didn't know how to get to the platform.
But how will we get to the campers?
Moaned Mighty to Thomas.
They're on the other side of the yard. There were never so many tracks in the shunting yard we used to work in,
groaned Mac. It's simple, whistled Thomas. Look at where you want to go, then follow the track that will take you there. Mighty set off nervously. But as they puffed along the track, Mac thought his way was quicker.
You're going the wrong way,
he said.
No, it's this way,
puffed Mighty. Soon they were puffing left and right, backwards and forwards. They were very confused. They even had a ride on the turntable. Then, at last,
we're here,
puffed Mac.
Oh, really? Then why are the passengers over there?
Asked Mighty.
Because you didn't look where you wanted to go and you didn't follow the right track,
said Mr. Percival sternly.
Now you're late.
They felt very silly. Finally, the passengers were on board. Mighty Mac puffed through the countryside on the way to the campground.
We'll have to work extra hard,
chuffed Mighty.
We have to get to the campsite before it gets dark.
Then, in the mountains, there was a fork in the track. Mighty wanted to go left.
This way,
he puffed.
No, you're going the wrong way,
shouted Mac. But Mighty was already pulling them past the fork. Mac was cross. The next time they came to a fork in the track, Mac wanted to go the other way again.
It's this way,
he puffed, and he pulled Mighty back to the junction, and then pushed him back up the other line. Now, Mighty was cross. They puffed through the mountains, and whenever they came across a junction, Mighty would push one way, then Mac would pull the other. The vacationers were having a very bumpy ride. They spilt their drinks and their donuts went flying. But Mighty Mac pressed on. Then there was trouble. They had arrived at a dead end. The vacationers took a look around.
This isn't a campsite,
said one of them. It's not even a nice place for our picnic, said another.
This is your fault,
puffed Mighty, and he pushed back towards Mac.
No, it's your fault,
puffed Mac, and he pushed back even harder. The vacationers watched as Mighty Mac bumped backwards and forwards.
Stop!
called the vacationers.
You're going to cause an accident.
But it was too late. Mighty pushed Mac as hard as he could, and the coach crashed into the rocks. First, one rock fell. Then another rock. Soon, lots of rocks came tumbling down. The track was blocked. and they were all stuck.
We'll never get to the campsite now,
moaned the vacationers. And it was all Mighty Mac's fault. They felt terrible. It was getting late. The vacationers were working hard. They were trying to get the coach back onto the rails. Then, with a mighty heave, the vacationers lifted the coach back onto the track. Mighty Mac was watching them.
Okay, you lead this time, Mac.
Hooted Mighty.
Let's work together.
Tooted Mac. So Mighty Mac rolled up to the rocks and pushed and pushed. The rocks rumbled, and then they rocked until finally the track was clear. The vacationers cheered. Mighty Mac was ready to go. They could see the flag flying high above the campground. Then they remembered what Thomas had said.
Look where you want to go.
Puffed Mac.
Then follow the track that will take you there.
Chuffed Mighty.
Let's go!
They whistled together. Mighty Mac puffed up the mountains. And soon, they arrived at the campground. The vacationers were very happy, and Mighty Mac was very proud.
You know, Mac,
Whooshed Mighty.
when we pull together and work together, we can be a really useful engine.
Whistled Mac. And they set off happily back down the mountain.